the channel and welcome back to a new video. So we are continuing on with the carbon fiber on the F80 M3. One of the things I want to get installed on the car is the front lip. This front lip is by Autotecknic. You guys saw me install the rear carbon diffuser from them, and I also have the rear carbon trunk lip as well. And I picked up their Competion style front lip. So it's aggressive enough where, you know, it really adds some personality to the front, but it's not super aggressive or crazy low where I'm going to be scraping everywhere, because this car is going to be lowered very, very soon on the KW sleeve over kit. And I wanted to get this on the car. So overall, the quality is fantastic. The weave is very, very nice. There's no strange pulls or any weird patterns or anything of the carbon actually stretching. Again, this is real carbon fiber. This is not some fiberglass piece with carbon laid on top. So it is high quality, very, very nice. A little on the expensive side. This is around 800 bucks for the front lip. So if I do crack this one, this will be a little bit more upsetting than the lips I've ran on the past on previous cars, but I'm willing to take that risk because this is kind of the style that I like. A lot of people run the M Performance style, which is just basically kind of like a splitter looking straight across. This adds a little bit more dimension, a little bit more aggressiveness in my personal opinion, and I really like the way this looks. This does not come with hardware, so I'm not really sure if I just didn't get it or it's not included, but I didn't get any, so it's not too big of a deal since you use the factory screws or factory bolts. One thing I don't get is this little piece back here. So this actually has an insert, you know, a threaded insert to screw into somewhere. Not really sure what that's for, because if you look underneath, there's nowhere to put that. So I'm not sure if there's a bracket or something that is supposed to come with it. Either way, I'm not too worried, but I'm curious what that is for. Maybe I'll figure it out once I get it on the car, because there's no instructions. Not many people install this, or at least not many people make videos or kind of show you how to install it. So hopefully this video will be a little bit more helpful, kind of guide people in the right direction to get this knocked out. So in order to install this, if you notice on the bottom, there's those little rubber kind of splitter. I don't even know what they are, but we're going to have to remove those. It's really simple. It's just a couple, I believe, 8mm bolts. So you take those out and you can slip those rubber pieces out. It's on both sides and it kind of gets in the way of this, so you have to remove them for this specific style lip. So I'm gonna go ahead and first remove those, and then we can kind of mock the lip up in the position of where it's gonna go, and then we can go from there. So let's go ahead and remove those first, then we can move on to the next step. All right, so in order to remove these, I just made a little cut on this end, and then you can kind of just peel it out of place or take it out of its kind of little spot, and it pulls off really cleanly. So there we go, that is off, nice clean line. So now we can put this back on, and now we have the clearance for the lip. All right, so I got the lip kind of mocked up into place. I tried using painter's tape, but the car is ceramic coated and PPF, so it wasn't sticking. So I'm using a $1,000 even cherry charge pipe box with the charge pipe still in there. I haven't installed them, but that is basically where it's gonna sit. Now, our main focus is on either side to make sure it lines up with each end, and it does perfectly. So that is most likely where I'm going to start. What I ended up doing is getting everything even on either side. I ended up using the bracket that goes on this side, the little splash guard. But if you look underneath, this bracket lines right up with that screw. So I put that in on this side as well as the other side. So the sides are nice and even, and that is kind of where it's going to sit. Now I do have some play kind of left or right a little bit, but basically these I'm going to have to use some probably 1/4 inch self taps. I may even put some double-sided tape on the top of here just for added security. And then these same thing, some 1/4 inch self taps, and we should be good. Now you got to be really careful because you don't want to obviously use too long of a self tap because it'll go straight through the bumper here. So just be really careful, but I think going on either end is where you want to start, so you can line everything up on that end and then kind of go from there. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to start in the middle here, get it lined up front, and then kind of work my way to each side, and we should be good. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put some 3M tape here, as I mentioned, get this bolted up, and we should be good to go. All right, so I got the lip stuck in position of where I want it. I tightened down the corners on each side, so it's kind of in place there. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the self taps right up here, and then I can go ahead and put the plastic, the little splash guard pieces back in. Alright, so I got pretty much everything bolted down. I'm just putting the little splash guard pieces in. And as I was putting them in, I realized you need to do a little bit of trimming because the lip kind of comes into contact with this area. So I trimmed out a little bit right there and also a little notch up there. So if we take a look on the other one, you can see how much I actually cut off. So basically I chopped this whole entire triangle off, a little bit right here, and also I notched it a little bit further. So there's a comparison of how much you actually need to notch out for the lip to fit properly, or at least for this to fit properly back in, because the lip goes back a little too far. So I'm going to throw these back in. I'm going to lower the car back down. I just jacked it up on one side so I had a little bit more access when I was doing the self taps. But yeah, I'm really happy with it so far. Fitment is very, very nice. It's not perfect. It's not OEM. You got to remember, this is aftermarket. I would say it's like a 8.9 out of 10, so it's pretty close, and it looks fantastic. Let me get everything wrapped up, cleaned up over here, and then I'll show you the final look. I'm also going to ceramic coat it while it's on the car, and the reason why I was waiting is because I wanted to use some double-sided tape, as you guys saw on the top here, and I didn't want to put ceramic on it, then do the tape because it wouldn't have stuck. So now that it's on the car, when I'm all finished, I'm going to ceramic coat it with some C-Quartz Deluxe, since that is what I've been using on the carbon on this car, and then I can show you the final look. And then tomorrow in the daytime, I'm driving the car tomorrow morning, I'll show you some daytime shots so you can get a little bit better look. But I'm telling you, it's crazy how much more aggressive this car and this front bumper looks with a front lip on here, and I can't wait to get this thing lowered. Hopefully I don't snap this thing in 2 days, because I'll be upset. So alright guys, so we got the car on the ground, everything buttoned up, everything cleaned up, and I am so happy with this lip. It turned out amazing. It really complements the splitters. I'm contemplating if I should do these, which are called the fangs. I'm not really a big fan of that name, but that's what people call them. Basically, it's just a carbon piece that sticks on over that. So basically, the lip, the splitter, and then there would be all carbon. I think it does look good, and on mineral gray, carbon doesn't really stand out too much, whereas, you know, mineral white or something that's much brighter, a lighter color, you know, carbon and darker colors obviously stand out much more. With the carbon on mineral gray, kind of blends in, so it's not too bad. So I'm considering doing something there as well, and I think it may tie it in, but I don't know. I don't want to overdo it. If we come over here, everything lines up perfectly with the bumper, and it just looks so good. Obviously, like I said, I cannot wait to get this car lowered so we can really see just how much better this car looks and how much more aggressive. And obviously I'm in the garage right now, so it's kind of hard to see a full picture, but as I mentioned, I will show you daytime pictures tomorrow so we can get a little bit better look. We can get a little bit further back, and I can show you a little bit more detail. But for now, what I'm going to do is clean this up, put some ceramic on it so it can cure overnight, and we can drive tomorrow. So I do need to be careful coming out of my driveway, because obviously it is a little bit lower now. If you guys know me, my STI was extremely low. I had a carbon front lip and everything, so I got pretty good at angling, getting to my driveway, and I never had any issues, so I should be okay with this. But just got to remember, because I've been driving the truck for a while, and I don't have to worry about clearance and anything for that. So I'll probably just do a quick little time lapse, ceramic coating it, and then I'll catch back up with you guys tomorrow. Guys, following day in the daytime. So here's a look, a little bit closer look at the front lip. Absolutely beautiful. Again, I love how this turned out. It really made the whole front end look way more aggressive, and I love the kind of inlets right here and right there. You can kind of see right through, and it adds a little bit of dimension to it as opposed to just being one straight carbon lip. But as I mentioned, fitment is spot on. Everything matches up perfectly, goes all the way to the bumper perfectly fine, and looks really good. And just with these small kind of improvements that I've made over the last couple videos, it's crazy what just the little things like that will do. The front lip, we got the color match reflectors. On the rear, we did the diffuser. as well as the we got rid of the red deflectors. We used the gloss black honeycomb inserts, which look really, really nice. And again, it really just kind of ties everything in. I'm still have to replace the trunk lip up here with the Autotecknic carbon rear lip that I do have in the garage that I need to install. I just need to get some extra 3M tape to install that properly. This car is really taking shape. I'm really, really happy with the progress so far. There is so much more. My main thing I really want to get done very soon is obviously getting this car lowered. I have the KW sleeve over kit that I have to put on, and that will really, really change things, plus with the spacers as well. And it's really going to take this car to the next level and make it look way, way better than it already does. In terms of overall clearance, obviously the car is still stock in terms of suspension, so I still have plenty of clearance. But as I just mentioned, when I do lower it, I really do need to be careful that I don't kind of blow this lip up in 2 seconds, because you know, this lip I think was around $800, so that'd be pretty upsetting if I do crack it. Hey, you know, it's gonna happen, I bet, at some point, but that's kind of the price we pay. But I believe it's worth it. I think it looks really good. And it really kind of changes the whole entire look of this car. I really do like these cars without a lip as well. I think it looks great, but with a lip, I think it just looks personally way better. One thing that I do really like that I almost forget is the even cherry carbon fiber brake ducts behind the grille. I absolutely love that, and it kind of ties everything in with all the other carbon, so it looks really cool. Again, I don't want to do too much carbon on this car. The front lip and the stuff in the rear and the mirrors is probably the extent that I'm going to do in terms of carbon. I don't want to do too much, because I always said if you add too much, it can get a little cheesy, and with a car like this, I don't want to bring it to that point where I'm doing too much. So we'll see where it takes me, but for now, I'm very, very happy with the carbon that I have chosen for the car. All right, guys, so that is going to wrap up this video of the Autotecknic carbon fiber front lip. Love how it turned out. Fitment is spot on. The quality is amazing. And also, I forgot to show you guys how sturdy this thing is. I mean, it's not going anywhere. Probably one of the most sturdy installs of a lip I've ever done on any car. If you guys have any questions at all about the lip or anything else on the M3, please leave them in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.